the video that I'm about to go over was shot, I think, over a year now. Yeah, it's been over a year. Oh yeah, definitely. A lot has happened in the last year and a half, which is why there was such a delay in me posting videos, and it took so long for me to get this done. It's just been crazy. So last year we decided to focus. We did a few things with the house, and then all of a sudden we decided on a bigger project. We decided to basically build a guest house ourselves. A guest house, a pool house, a casita, whatever you want to call it. And we did 95% of the work ourselves, and that took a better part of last year. As soon as we finished building the house, we found out I was pregnant. So as you can imagine, it got kind of busy. The baby's back there making noises, trying to wake up, maybe having dreams, I don't know. But now that I'm 4 weeks postpartum, I figured with this quarantine, what better time than to get these videos out, even if they are late. We're not professionals, but we do like doing things ourselves. Well, okay, like is a strong word. I hate doing things myself, but my husband likes doing it because he saves a lot of money. And when I tell him, why don't we just hire someone, he goes over the numbers with me, eventually talks me into doing it ourselves. And then my husband's the one that likes to do it himself because he does a lot of research. He's very research based. And the way we learn how to do things is YouTube. He watches a lot of YouTube videos. He tells me what jobs are mine. I watch a lot of YouTube videos to figure it out. And then we come together and work it out. A lot of sweat equity goes into this. We do save a lot of money, which is why he always talks me into doing it. While we're doing it, I'm usually hating him and complaining, but afterwards I see what we did and how much equity we've put into the house. This is why we do a lot of things ourselves, and why I wanted to, I mean, we're not professionals like I said, but perhaps it does give someone a little bit of motivation to know that you can do it yourself and you're going to save a lot of money if you do. Also, we've had professionals do a few things here and there, things we can't do ourselves, and almost every single time have had an issue where we've had to fix it or we've had to hire them back to fix it. And so even professionals are not that great sometimes. I've realized they're not very quality oriented. It's not their home, but when you're working on your own home, you care about the quality. And so I do see the quality is there when you do it yourself versus hiring professionals. Being in quarantine, I figured what a better time than to do this, get some of the old videos up. I do have videos of the whole process with our guest house, so I will be sharing that. The reason I wanted to put videos together for this house is because with our last house, we only lived there for about 3 years. It was our first house and we did a lot of work on it, but we really put in a lot of sweat equity and we got money back on that house. After we sold it for profit. We had money for closing costs, we had money for this house, a little bit of money, enough that we were able to do a few things before we even moved in, even after closing costs. And so the one thing that I had wish we had done is that I wish we would have documented that whole process with the last house, because it was honestly such a big transformation. Maybe one day I'll share the story, and I do have pictures of before and after at least. And so with this house, I knew that the projects were going to take a little bit longer just because it's a much bigger house. And so from the very beginning, I knew I was going to document it, really for us for the future to look back on, but also because we're not doing anything professional, we're not doing anything dramatic, we're doing budget-friendly things. Both my husband and I work full-time. We're both lawyers. We work more than full-time sometimes. So we are very limited in our time. All we have are after work, evenings basically, and weekends. And let me tell you, it's when you take on a project, you're not sleeping. And like with the guest house, that was such a hard, what was it, 3-4 months. We did not have weekends. We were waking up early, going to bed super late. and going to work exhausted because it felt like we had a second full-time job. It was so tough, but you can do it. If we can do it, anyone else can do it. So that's really all this is. It's not a step-by-step, this is how you do it. It's just, hopefully it motivates somebody, maybe it gives you an idea. Everything that we do in the step-by-step is all stuff we searched online. We searched YouTube videos, and that's how we were able to do it. Some of it we kind of guessed, just did it, figure out what worked. Some things worked, some things didn't, and we just kind of learned from it. Anyways, this is basically an old video of me kind of updating our guest bathrooms. So we were able to change out the granite before we moved in. I put on the backsplash on both bathrooms the same way I did in the kitchen, which I have a video on how I did the backsplash in the kitchen. Same exact thing there. We bought the sinks and the faucets online, pretty inexpensive. And then the cabinets, I painted the cabinets. So it was very simple things we did. We didn't completely demolish everything and then buy a bunch of stuff. Like you'll see, there's still things that need to get done. One of them, the shower didn't even get done. We just kind of hid it, and really does make a difference though. This is basically what our bathroom looked like before. I literally just took the picture off of like Civil when we were looking at the house online. This is the picture they used. I have no idea why they had those cabinets in like that weird stained splotchy brown, because they didn't used to be like that. Because I saw older pictures of the house, they didn't have those cabinets. But anyways, this is what we were working with. Before we moved in, we wanted to do a few things to the house, and one of those things that we did was the granite on both the guest bathrooms and our kitchen, and we used the same granite. So here, this is basically, once we moved in, the granite and the sink was installed. I painted the cabinets. All I did was painted the cabinets. That's all I did. Just used white paint, painted them. We changed out the toilet for a new toilet, and this is what the bathroom looked like just with those few things done. And then the last thing that needed to get done was that mirror. That mirror was just not pretty. So this is what I used. I just used the bare paint and then a primer. Literally took the frames. It's actually baseboards. That's what we use. We use baseboards. Turned out to be perfect. My husband cut them to size. I primed them, so there where you see where they're white, that was them primed. Here's after I had put in the gray paint. That's all I did. I think I did like 2 coats of the gray. I let them dry, and then basically this is me applying the frame to the mirrors. The reason that we didn't change out the mirror is because the mirror was really stuck on the wall. I think they probably glued it to the wall, so if we had tried to take it off, it would have come down with the wall for sure, and we would have had to drywall it, done all that. And we can do that, I know how to do that, but at this point we just wanted something quick and easy and cheap, because we're not ready to like completely remodel the bathrooms. So this is basically an easy fix. Is we decided to just frame the gold frame. We could have probably painted it as well, but we decided we wanted something thicker, so that's why we used the frame. Here I'm just showing how I put on the framing. Basically I just use this heavy duty, I think these are called liquid nails. I use this for the backsplash. I've used this a ton, so I kind of know how to use it and play with it and kind of get things stuck on. Basically it's going to do the job. It's going to stick it on really well, and because it was going to be on the mirror, we needed something that was going to be strong. And so here, that's all I'm doing is just placing the liquid nails. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, but basically that's all I'm doing to the back of the frame. And the reason we used baseboards is we did look at wood. Originally we were going to go get some pieces of wood, cut them to size, and then frame them, but we were looking, it was going to be a lot of work, but also the wood we were finding was kind of thick. So we live at Lowe's and Home Depot, so we were walking the aisles one day, looked at the baseboards aisle, and realized that we could use that for framing. and so that's what we did. Now for this bathroom that I'm showing here first, this is the guest bathroom. It doesn't have a shower, so it's a half bath. So we went with a less wide, so like a smaller, I guess, a narrow baseboard. And then I'll show the downstairs guest bathroom. That one's a full bath and the mirror's a lot bigger, so we used a bigger size frame, bigger size baseboard. So here I'm showing how I just kind of placed the boards around the mirror, how I kind of just used whatever I could find. I used this box, I think it held the doorknobs. I used the box to kind of hold it in place. Once I figured out that it was straight, it looked good, I then started to press it on to the mirror, and then held it for a few seconds, then placed some things underneath it to just kind of hold it up while I placed the other pieces. Honestly, it wasn't very hard. Once it was on, and so it didn't really budge, but just to be safe, I did go ahead and put those something on the bottom just to hold it for a little bit. You can see basically I just went ahead with all the rest of the pieces, put those on. I don't know why I took off the box. I imagine it had been a while because I was doing different things at the same time, so I kind of placed that part on. I was seeing that it was kind of coming off a bit, so I went ahead and I had some painter's tape on me just because I had been painting, so I used that to kind of hold it in place, and it worked really well. It didn't fall. It stuck on pretty well, and you could still see the gold on the side of the mirror. Eventually I did go ahead, that silicone stuff, I did that to the edge, and then I also eventually painted the frame with the same paint. It took a couple of coats. It was kind of a mess because I did it the lazy way, did not put painter's tape on the edge, but it was fine. So this is basically the finished product of what the bathroom looks like now. It's not completely done. There's still things I want to get done, like I need to change out those towel holders, something very easy, but that I still haven't done. We're eventually going to change out the floor for sure, because that floor is ugly. We've changed it out in most of the house where it was, except this bathroom and the front entrance, and that's it. So this is it. Something I didn't show in the beginning were all the cabinets that are in this bathroom. So first here I'm showing how I did the edge, so you can see I painted the edge so you couldn't see the gold. It's not perfect like I said, but at that point we had done so much with the house that I was done with it. So like I said, I painted the cabinets, just the white same exact paint I think that I used in the kitchen, which I have a video on how I painted the kitchen, what paint I used. We added those doorknobs, same doorknobs that we used in the kitchen. The doorknobs we got on Amazon. The sink we got online. So again, these cabinets are in this bathroom as well. I have a lot of storage space. I did not used to use this at all, except for like medicine, which was a few things that I had. Now I use it because it's right outside of our bedroom, and we already have a bathroom in our bedroom, but it's outside also the baby's room, and so I kind of use it because the baby's room doesn't have a closet or any closet space. I use it as storage for the baby, which works great because it's just off the room. And so here I filmed this when, like, literally I think a few days before I gave birth. So here's the other side of the bathroom. The walls are yellow. It's the only room in the entire house that is not white. I don't know why they didn't paint it white, but on camera it shows more. In person it's a little bit more subtle, And so I decided I'm not even gonna deal with paint because I hate painting. In our last house, all I did was paint, and I'm sick of painting. I hate painting. I'm sick of painting because I did the cabinets, and so I just left it. I think it's subtle enough to just leave it. And so as you can see, I used it as the baby storage. Works great. That's really all that's in there. It's just baby stuff. This is the downstairs guest bathroom. This is the guest rooms are all downstairs, and so this is the bathroom they share. You can see it's pink, it's hideous, it's a weird shape, like the way it's configured. The shower kind of goes into the wall and it's really hard to clean, and it's just, eventually we're gonna have to demolish that entire shower and redo the whole thing, maybe change out the layout, just because look at how awkward that shower just, it's so hard. You can't get in between the shower door and the wall that's right next to it to clean. So this is basically what we did to it to kind of fix that. We don't have the we obviously want to redo the entire shower, and that's going to take a lot of time and money, something that we just didn't, we wanted to do other things first, so we didn't do that. Here I'm showing the tile because what I'm showing is the tile grout. The grout was a white pinkish, it was almost pink. I think it was just old and dirty, and I tried cleaning it and would not get white enough. So instead what we did is we found grout paint, just gray grout paint, painted it, super easy, came out nice. The way we hid the shower is we bought that shower rod online, I'm pretty sure, like Amazon, bought some shower curtains, totally disguised it. It's still pink back there, but you can't even tell. We did the same exact thing with this bathroom, granite countertops, same sinks. I painted the cabinets, and like as you can see, the mirror is framed. It's a thicker frame than the downstairs, but it's the same exact thing that I did to the other bathroom I did with the framing here, and I think it looks so much better. The sink and faucet were both bought online, pretty inexpensive, and they look expensive, I think. The granite, we got a good price on it because we did, like I said, the 2 guest bathrooms and the kitchen, so we got a good price on that. So overall, I think just doing those little things really made a big difference, especially in that bigger bathroom. So like I said, I'm not an expert, but I'm hoping some of this gives people some ideas, motivation to do those little projects at home that maybe you've been putting off or were thinking you needed to hire an expert on, because you don't. You can really do it yourself, inexpensive, quick and easy. You don't have to